Welcome to the Endometriosis News Channel. We are broadcasting live from the EndoMarch headquarters in Palo Alto, California. I'm Barbara Page, EndoMarch co-founder, and I'm very excited to welcome our very special guest, Ashley Cawood, hailing from
Hi, everyone.
Chicago.
Thank you, Barbara, for, letting me be a guest speaker. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I know you're a busy lady, postmodern gal with so many things going on, so thank you also. And as we were talking ahead of the call here, we'll basically launch right in to learn a little bit, tell the audience a little bit about yourself. And we decided we'd go ahead and start with your Endo journey, which is very unique because it's intergenerational. So, Ashley, the floor is yours. Basically introduce the audience to sort of like your Endo journey. And I know that's hard, but
no, I'm okay. Basically, I had talked to Barbara previously, and she had asked me a question of, what was the last straw you had? What was that breaking moment for you to become an advocate? Because that's what I like to do. I'm an advocate for endometriosis. I'm an advocate for other reasons. And I had like a whole bunch of built up feelings about endometriosis and this generation endometriosis. So as a kid, I grew up around it and saw the generational impact it had on me and my family, from like my great grandma having lots of children because that's the solution, from my paternal grandma committing suicide when I was only a year old. And I just always felt that sadness in my family that has to this day hasn't even left. To realizing, my maternal grandma had 11 children and 2 were stillborn. The sadness of my grandma talking about the stillborn was just almost emotionally unbearable. And out of the surviving 9 children, 5 were girls, including my mom. And all 4 of my aunts have endometriosis, including my mom. So I grew up seeing my aunts not being able to have kids and seeing this sort of sadness in their faces when I saw them, and just the way they looked at me. It was always this like unspoken sadness. And it just lingered around. It was like this dark cloud called endometriosis just everywhere I looked as a kid. I saw my mom suffering horribly throughout my childhood, and she missed out a lot because she was sick a lot. I don't know. I'm like a pro at ER visits. Going with my mom plus my own experience. And then it taught me a lot about endometriosis and all different sides of it. And then my mom, she taught me what she knew about endometriosis, which probably 17 years ago wasn't as much as we know now. They used to give this little VCR tape, and it was purple. And it said endometriosis on it. And I was just like, here, you have endometriosis. Watch the CCR. Bye.
Oh.
And it wasn't even that helpful.
That's what the doctors or the ER people...
Yeah. After surgery and stuff, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Wow. And then I saw all my aunts, and I had to take care of my mom after she had her hysterectomy. It was so hard to watch as a kid because I felt like I didn't have control over this thing called endometriosis. And
it's like its tentacles were everywhere.
Yeah, and it was just like hurting the people that I love, and it was hurting me because I was seeing them suffering. And then,
and you're a kid,
but it was just,
you need things too. You're a kid, but people are sick, and so you don't know who to reach out to. So it's.
Yeah, and I'm taking care of people, but I don't mind. I mean, when my mom and my aunts all had hysterectomies, I was 15 when my mom had hysterectomy, and I didn't mind helping her out at all. Like, I saw her suffer, and, it was okay with me. Like, but
But it's a lot of
during the same
responsibility
time,
for a young, it's a lot of responsibility that's on your shoulders at a very young age.
Yeah,
definitely.
I just didn't like where everywhere I looked, it was there. And so as that was building, I was essentially beginning my own journey because I started having my own endo issues. And I don't want to like offend anyone, but I want to look back and laughing at myself because I literally believed if I went to my pediatrician and told her about my pain and the history of endometriosis in my family, that she would help me. But she told me that I was too sensitive.
Oh my gosh. Unbelievable.
Every doctor I ever saw from my teens until I finally got diagnosed 13 years later ignored the endo history in my family. Ignored,
You had the clue. You had like the smoking gun. You had a
Mm-hmm.
smoking gun. And you knew about it already, and it still took you 13 years?
Yep. And I didn't, it's not like I was just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll figure it out. Like, I fought for a diagnosis. Even as a teenager.
Yeah, you're the activist.
And then, like, I was...
Yeah, you've been fighting for yourself, and it still took that long.
Yeah, and then, like I told you in high school, when the pain started getting really bad, I got homeschooled.
Right.
Because I was missing school so much. So, I mean, I missed out on a lot of that high school experience that a lot of people have.
That take for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to homecoming and all that stuff, but just the, socialization of all that, I missed out on that. And it was sad. And I was by myself a lot because I was homeschooled and I was basically teaching myself through this accredited homeschooling place.
Oh my gosh.
But, I mean, I kept telling all the doctors, like, I know this is endo. But they'd be like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I was literally starting to become a regular at the ER, at both ERs in my town, and all the prompt cares around town. I would go to all the different prompt cares to see if at least one doctor would listen to me. I've seen every OBGYN in my town. Like, nothing. They would just brush it off. And from the first time I got called, I'm too sensitive, what I've heard since then is, I'm a drug seeker, that my pain is psychosomatic, that I have mental issues, and it's displaying itself physically. Over and over again, and all I wanted was just to be pain-free.
To have your health care concerns taken seriously. Such a simple thing. You see all the ads on TV with people advertising their hospitals, advertising their health care. Everyone's smiling. Mm-hmm. Not for the endo community. People are left out.
Yeah.
And
you don't know where to go. You don't know where to turn to. But with my history, I knew, dealing with tiny organs and, very sensitive. I wanted to be a mom. I knew I always wanted to be a mom. That I needed someone who had been with robotic surgery since it started. Yeah. Who was an OBGYN but didn't just deliver babies, was more into the robotic surgery part of issues, Sure. And I found them. I mean, and then I had a breaking point. The last OBGYN I saw in my town, she said, I think it's endometriosis. And I said, okay, so what are we going to do? What's the plan? And she said, you'll be fine. Oh. And I said, no, I won't, because I know what endometriosis is. This is not okay. I won't just be fine. And then, so after that, I was lucky to have, I was still on my parents' insurance plan, where I didn't need a referral, and I could just research and find a doctor. And I researched the crap out of so many doctors, and I finally found one that matched exactly what I was looking for, and that changed my life. His name's Dr. Abraham Sashwa. And it was the first time in my life I felt someone was on my side during my 13-year journey to finally get diagnosed.
Well, hats off to your doctor. And when we post this, this video podcast, we'll add, we can even add his link, just to give a shout out. We always like to thank people that help the endo community. Definitely give him a shout out. But gosh, that's a very long time to be fighting this battle all by yourself. But thank goodness you advocated for yourself, which is the common theme that we hear. Anybody who's an endo activist, you can see you've already had a life of doing activism for yourself, and now you end up.
We had no choice but to become our own advocate.
Absolutely,
it's like really lonely.
But it is very lonely, and it's not fair. The thing that really strikes one is that it's just not fair.
Yeah,
other people have health issues, and they go and they get compassion and care, and in endo community condemned and accused. It's as if we're criminals,
Yeah, and I've known of women who have gotten arrested because they are crying so bad in the ER and just throwing the, I'm in pain, help. Where they either, they've got thrown in psych wards, or they got arrested, or a cop pushed them against the wall. Yeah, it's
happening. I mean, in the 21st century. Yeah.
They're still telling us the same stuff that they told my grandma who committed suicide. Oh. And that was 31 years ago.
It's so heartbreaking. It's going to stop. It's going to stop with our generation. We've had enough. It's been happening for thousands of years based on the research that I was part of, the one that was going back 4,000 years. Enough is enough. What are we going to go another 1,000 years?
It's no excuse. Enough is enough.
Yeah, enough is enough. There's no excuse. Time's up.
Yeah. There's not. This is not okay when it's affecting about 8 to 10 million American women and 200 million worldwide.
Worldwide, yeah.
And somebody can just look the other way. As
common as diabetes, or approximately as common as diabetes in women. And we know how much diabetes awareness, if somebody walks in to their doctor with diabetes symptoms, they get you hear that people get care right away, and they get compassion too, and all the resources and whatnot. Yep. Obviously, some people in all disease categories don't always have the exact best experience, but we know for a fact that the endo community is suffering because we've got numbers to prove it. 8 to 10 year diagnostic delay. That tells you.
Exactly.
And this is not just us making it up. That's published data, through peer reviewed, and it's confirmed. It's confirming what you already knew anecdotally through your own lived experience. But it's for the audience. A lot of people already have endometriosis, so you all are probably shaking your head like I am. That these are very similar experiences. And then for those who are just coming on board to the endometriosis community, who may not have endometriosis but want to be an endo ally, this is just going on for too long. You can see there's, like Ashley said, 8 to 10 million estimated. We don't exactly know, but these are estimates, and 200 million worldwide. Well, I tell you, so all this has been going on in your life, and then as we were talking earlier, we were saying, what was that moment? It must have been around January 2018, because that's when you and I met. But,
it
what was that
moment?
I was curious what that moment was where you were like, you know what? I'm going to do something. I'm going to become an endo activist.
I had never experienced being treated poorly in the work environment. And at the time I was working at a hospital as an IV specialist, and I started having symptoms again. And I go about 4 to 5 years I've only had 2 surgeries. I go about 4 to 5 years without any pain because my surgeon, he just I just want to bow down to him. He is amazing. And he has great bedside manners too. I mean, he is the all around, the doctor you want. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Yeah. And it was the only doctor I'd ever trusted, but I set up a surgery with him because he doesn't go, no, I'm not doing surgery. He goes, what do you want to do? You know your body the best. What do you want to do? And then I'm like, surgery. And I call it my couple months cleanup or 2-year clean out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had to schedule my second surgery, and I was going to be out of work for a month. But before my surgery, I was still working for about a month and a half, and I was sick. I was very, very sick. I had fevers every day. I had sciatica issues, back issues. There's a day I couldn't walk. And I'm still showing up for work. I'm still doing my job. I'm hiding it. I'm still getting it done.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody was telling me that I was faking it.
Oh, my gosh.
And then everyone started ganging up on me when I was in so much pain and sick. And this is a hospital, a medical community who are doing this to me. So I quit. That was the drawing line. I quit. And I realized I cannot be the only one going through this, and I don't have to be alone. And that was the last straw moment for me that, you know, turned me into an advocate. And that's the moment that I lost all my fear. And, you know, I started actively doing stuff to right
so
this wrong.
fair. Yeah, I remember that was going on right when I met you, and I couldn't believe that obviously there were, for this podcast, we're just kind of brushing over the subject, but that was brutal.
It was brutal. I would come home crying every day from work. And then I realized I could either be a victim or I can stand up. And I can go, and I literally went on Instagram. I turned my Instagram page into just endometriosis awareness. The more I posted about me, the more others were posting. And then it was just like this, like everything, all of us were coming together at once. Like we were just all fed up with it. And I would literally go through, I would type in endometriosis or endo, and I would click follow, you know, and just adding everyone I knew so I could kind of create this like web of support for us. And I think that first year, I set up a global like endometriosis Christmas card thing where we all,
oh, nice.
Yeah, we all had a group, and we all send each other Christmas cards because, you know, Christmas time can be sad, especially for, yeah. But like, I can't sit and watch anything that's wrong and not say something or do something. I have to
be a bystander.
Action.
Yeah. You can't be a bystander.
Whether it be bullying, you know, whether it be anything that's wrong.
Anything that's unfair. Yeah. That's unfair and wrong. Unethical.
Yeah. And the thing I think that is really important is, like, education is a very, very powerful tool. So that's been my goal too, is to kind of like, you know, educate women on that. I've also helped get women diagnosed with endometriosis.
Yes.
I've sent people in my town. Yeah, I've sent people in my town to my doctor, like Dr. Sasha in Chicago, you know, and I've always kept up to date on the research with endo. And, you know, like what started as like 15 of us that first year sending Christmas cards, just boom, turned into
thousands,
huge web of support. And then the more I started fighting and posting, the more they got worked up. And I mean, it was just incredible to see that support, like women supporting each other. But this wasn't just nationally, this was globally as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, we turned from a community to now, like, what we'll talk about later probably. We turned into a movement.
Yeah, a movement. Yeah. We're actually the movement.
And then, like,
we're like second wave movement. There were movements before us, 1970s, 80s, and we're like the second wave, using technology to really try to help, you know, branch out more. But yeah, it's amazing. I know. And you just did that with taking your experience and turning it into activism.
Yeah, and then I was just like, I don't remember how I found Worldwide EndoMarch. It was probably online.
Yeah, I guess it must have been Instagram, I suppose. I don't think you're on Facebook, right? So it must.
No, I'm not on Facebook. It could have been me researching different organizations because I was at the time for my bridal shower. I donated to endometriosis research.
Nice.
And then I started looking up.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I started looking at different organizations, and I'm all about the non-for-profit organization. Yeah. And I think that's how I came across EndoMarch. And that's when I decided that I was going to stick with them.
I don't know. I think I got maybe a voicemail or email and voicemail, I think both. And I practically jumped. I'm like, hey, let's get rock and rolling. You were from there. It was destiny. We have our little code names. Yeah. I'm Houston. You're Chicago.
we've tackled DC together.
Yeah, it's 2 years in a row now. For the audience listening, Ashley's gone to the Washington DC EndoMarch for 2 years in a row, 2018 and 2019, and it looks like we're headed there again for 2020. Yeah. But with some extra special, things.
Project.
Yeah, extra, like a 2-day type of event that we're doing here. But so you went to the EndoMarch in 2018. That year you didn't. I think we had already had the speakers set, so I wasn't able to add you. But what were your experiences like? You were able to meet people.
And I met a lot of amazing women. And I noticed that, there were a lot of women at the march. And the day before is when we went and we spoke and meetings in different conferences.
You went to the Endo Activist Day as well.
Yeah. And, we spoke to them. And honestly, that was something I thought I could never do. I thought I could never do that. But as soon as, the fear was gone, like I said earlier. I have to do something.
After seeing
fear cannot hold me back.
Yeah, after seeing people get mistreated, after being mistreated, you certainly looked fearless. I was right there. I can tell the audience she was in fact fearless, and really you gave an incredibly moving testimonies because we went to more than one elected official. And that was on Capitol Hill. And so, it was an incredible experience, but you definitely hit it out of the ballpark. I remember I don't think there was a dry eye in that room when you were telling your story. And I really was watching the legislative aid. One of them in particular, she really struck me that she had her pen and paper out and she was really horrified. You could see from her comments.
I remember that
they really didn't know. And so I felt like we're just a few people, but inch by inch we can make a difference. Obviously we have broader goals.
If we come together and just like I've said to you on previous phone calls and chats, I can go and I can say there's 10 million American women suffering. You literally cannot picture 10 million in your head. They need to visually see it. And that's where we're kind of asking for help, to get them to realize that this is affecting a lot of the population, that this is not okay, that we need adequate and fast medical care. We need to fix our health insurance issues. We need funding for research. We need more awareness. We need education. We need, there's a lot of economical problems with it too, because we're out of work, because we're sick, or we get fired. This hits every issue, and that's why I decided to, I want to go to DC. That's where I can make things happen. That's where I can change things.
Yeah. No,
and I knew I could do it with EndoMarch.
Yeah, the policy changes are at this point urgent. They've been urgent for thousands of years, but at this point it's just boiling over. And so that's why for next year, and we can start to tell the audience a little bit about what we're working on. But we know it's a public health. I've been saying crisis, but I started to use the word catastrophe. This is a public health catastrophe. It is outrageous that we're the wealthiest,
It's
most powerful
almost
nation
barbaric.
in the world. I think it's I do also think it's barbaric. To me, it is.
Women are botched. Women are slaughtered, like you said. Like,
people are dying.
Barbaric.
Well, 1,000 years from now, future generations will look back on this era and they will say it's barbaric, just like we look back in old medical histories and we see, people using leeches or bloodletting or the things that were done 1,000 years ago. We go, oh, how barbaric. We're going to be judged the exact same way 1,000 years from now, or even just 100 years from now. They're going to say, how could all of these people that are suffering so profoundly have been ignored for all these years? We have everything we need to address this problem. We have the resources. We have the organization. We have the knowledge now. And yet there's no political will. And so that's why we can even branch off now to, speaking of that political will, as you know, all throughout history, the people have never been given their rights. We the people, have always had to take our rights and demand our rights, always. We were talking about Sojourner Truth, and so we're now part of that history that we have to fight for our rights, and we can't wait for them to come to us. So we're coming.
We have to fight together too. We have to come together, organize, and we got to do that.
Yeah. United we stand, divided we fall. That's been true forever.
That's
time immemorial.
Absolutely true. Completely agree.
But the thing
I want to do this not just for me, obviously, but for the generations of women who have suffered before me, to make it right. No, I cannot take back what happened to them, but I can stop it from hurting the next generation. I want to do it for the current generation, like myself. It's not right. Some of these stories these women have told me are horrendous. And it gets you so angry. Like, how can this be happening?
It's outrageous. It's just absolutely, well, I'm not to speak too radical on this particular channel. I try to reel it in, but I look at it and it sure does look like criminal negligence to me. But we're going to do something about it. That's the important thing, and we'll honor your grandmother, in your grandmother's memory, and all the people that suffered in the past, present, and now future. We'll fight for them. And
thank you.
And then
what we're
working on.
I have 2 daughters too, so that is my main motivation. And the community of the Endo women, the Endo sisters, they are the most amazing people ever.
Yes. Best ever met.
Part of this is just me asking them to come together to help me, to help us. And
absolutely. And we just talked about this a few days ago, and based on from all your work, our little phone lines or our forum or our website is like blowing up thanks to you. Just in these few just a few days have gone by. So we can tell the audience we're not fully ready to announce the full plan, but we can certainly tell the audience a little bit about what we're you and I and the whole team nationwide, globally that we're working on. We're just dubbing it right now Endo Advocacy Day. Historically, at the EndoMarch, we've been having elected official meetings every year since our first year, 2014. But then 2020, it's a special year at 1 and 2. After 7 years of marching, I said to myself, I feel like we have to amp up the volume because it's not going as fast. The changes aren't happening as fast as we'd like.
They're not. And we can make an impact, and we can be strong, and we can be heard in a positive way.
Absolutely. I mean, believe me, we're all so upset and angry, outraged, disgusted, every imaginable.
And rightfully so.
And rightfully so. We're righteous and rightfully so. Nevertheless, we know when we speak to the halls of power, they have little protocols they have to follow. So we'll go ahead and follow the protocols. But we're amping up. You see, we're going to be turning up the volume.
We are. And I have a very, very good intuitive feeling about it.
It's going to be Endo epic.
It's going to be Endo epic. It's going to be amazing.
And we're tearing down these injustices. I used to say tearing down, breaking the chains of centuries. This is enough. 2020, it's going to end. It's going to end 2020. We're going to get
the hurt and generation stops now. It has to. It's not right. It's not okay. We are going to show that.
Well, and you can see how the opioid crisis and now the vaping crisis, you can see how elected officials jumped into action to address that and made it a high public health priority. And although obviously we're not trying to have a disease Olympics, that those folks don't count either. The problem is we've been waiting for help, screaming at the top of our lungs and nothing. We're essentially. So that's why. So for the audience, we'll obviously have another detailed information about what we're talking about here. That we're going to have this one day, all 50 states push for meeting with elected officials, and it's going to possibly be a rally/meeting. It depends on what we can pull off, but it'll be very, very.
It'll be moving. They will have no choice but to listen to us. And we need everyone who's affected by endo, any ideas, anything, get a hold of me, get a hold of EndoMarch. I mean,
and we'll put together a video.
You don't have to travel. You don't have to.
Absolutely.
Everyone can just sending us a picture.
Absolutely. Everyone can contribute. We do need, of course, people who can travel. But even if you can't travel, you can always get involved by sharing. We'll have methods where you can share a video message. You can share an audio message if you don't want to do video, but you want to do an audio message, pictures, and then we'll compile
quotes.
Absolutely quotes. And we've got a team that basically we're all putting our resources together to make this happen. So, but I think it's been.
And any ideas are welcomed, and I'm not here to, I'm here for the same reason that anyone is here for endo. Like, it's not okay. It is not okay. I am here to fight, but I need my endo sisters to help fight with me, even if it seems like it's like small or big, come with me, get a hold of me. Let's do this together because I know we can.
Absolutely. Well, I can see, I can see we can, and I didn't do this. We were thinking about this 1 year ago, but we didn't have enough team members. But now this year, I saw that we had enough team members that had the skill sets that we all needed, to be able to organize and manage this. So I've been waiting for, like I said, about over a year to do this. And so I really feel like it was completely fortuitous that we connected this year and were able to talk. And I hung up the phone, and 30 seconds later, I was already getting information from you. So it kind of went viral already. But I know we're going to hit it out of the ballpark. And but yeah, the interesting thing is I did another podcast like last week, and I usually ask a final question, a couple of final questions so we wrap up. One of them, we used to say, what would you say to doctors that are in a room? But how about we switch it up? How about, actually, let me ask you, if you were in a room filled with elected officials that had the power of the purse strings of this country, meaning the power of policy, what would you say?
I would, one, plan what I was going to say, and that would be bringing it down to the human level. I can, like I said earlier, I can sit there, and I have sat there and said 1 in 10 million, this is my story, this is that. But I would tell them all of our stories so they could see and actually see the impact and how wrong this is. And that's where, my followers come into play and helping me, and they have been amazing at helping me with this.
Yeah, these stories of being fired or having to quit because you're being bullied and not believed, and people have had to drop out of not just college but high school. I mean, people have not even been able to finish. People have had their parents.
I'm still working my way through college, and I'm 32.
Absolutely. This is directly related to endo, and it gets harder. You can't fulfill your dreams in the normal timeline that other people, expected it to happen.
And when you have dreams, you have to have plans. Your plans get interrupted by your health. And it's like,
and you can't get, that's what you just cannot believe in a developed country, but not just any developed country, the most wealthy and most powerful. We can't.
Exactly. And that's what disappoints me too. That really disappoints me is the fact that, I thought we should be ahead of this game, not no offense to any other countries whatsoever, but it was shocking to me when I started finding out, through my own experiences and other women's experiences, what we have gone through in the United States with endometriosis.
Well, it's shameful.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
I consider it one of the greatest failings of modern medicine.
I completely agree.
I mean, this is a huge population of people that urgent health needs are being unmet as we speak. So, but that's what we'll be able to do next year when we all coordinate, and we'll have a method of really amplifying our voices. And it's going to be, everything's going to be filmed, and we're going to be able to live stream from the elected officials, from the capitals. Thank goodness for technology. Now we're able to do that. And so we're going to get live feeds from all 50 states next year. That'll be phenomenal. And that
will be powerful. It is going to be, like you said, epic. Epic. I don't even know if it does that justice. It's
just we gals doing this. We don't have any sponsors. It's literally just we regular women doing this.
Yeah, it's all of us coming together.
We don't have any big corporate sponsor.
No,
we're literally
we don't.
Figuring out a method how to do it. Raising money. Yeah, I'm fundraising and raising money over here, obviously to help. But this will be phenomenal, and I know we can do it. Well, Ashley, for the audience, if you want to follow Ashley online, I believe it's Instagram. If you want to tell the audience your Instagram handle.
Yeah, it's endometriosis _ Ashley, ASHLEY, and Cawood, CAWOOD. So endometriosis _ Ashley Cawood.
Awesome. Yeah, her Instagram is always blowing up with great things.
I respond to everyone. Nobody gets left out. 3:00 in the morning, I don't care. Message me.
Yeah, Ashley is not sleeping. I definitely know, because I can see the timestamp of your messages. So you're working around the clock for the Endo community, and we're excited to work with everybody else in the community for it's going to be a really special year next year. But
it really is, and I'm very excited, and I'm very honored to be a part of this. And I'm so glad I met you and everyone involved in the EndoMarch. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, well.
Especially you. You have been a mentor to me. You really have. And, you helped me get over some of my fears. I don't think you even realize that. And,
I think it's like those ruby slippers. I think you always had the power. But sometimes you just need a platform, You can't build a platform yourself. You can't be hammer and so we just a little platform to help amplify people's voices, but you always had it in you the whole time.
Thank you.
I saw that.
Thank you for all that you do for us. You have, I'm so appreciative of the work you do. It's amazing.
You all help me too. I haven't even gotten into how you all have helped me, so it's definitely symbiotic, and helps me have something to do, wake up in the morning and something to fight for. You know what I mean? So it's a phenomenal community.
Definitely.
Really the best community I've ever community experience I've ever had in my life. So, and I'm old too, so that's saying something.
You're not old.
Yeah. But
it's the most supportive, kind, compassionate people out there. They're amazing. And I know this, and I know if we come together, that we can, go around all these issues. And
we're going to hit it out of the ballpark, I'm telling you.
We are.
It's going to be phenomenal. Well, I know you're out there in Chicago time, and look, it's, for the audience who's watching on the video, it's already getting so dark for you.
Yeah, I know, it's already dark, and it's only like
I'm out here in California, so I better let you go. And hats off to you, Ashley. For the audience, you may not know, but she's actually doing this interview in the car. She's so dedicated, so I really appreciate that. But I better.
No problem.
I'm worried now. I better let you get home there. And but we'll get this podcast posted, and super excited, and we'll add pictures and whatnot. We'll work on that after. And Ashley, thank you so much for all your time. You're amazing.
You're welcome. Thank you so much too.
Absolutely.
And everybody out there, just keep up the good fight, okay?
That's right. We're the dream team. We're going to get it done.
We are. It's very exciting.
Well, thank you to the audience as well for tuning in for another podcast, and we will see and hear you next time. Take care, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.